I'm Colton Myers. I'm from Southeast Georgia, a small town called St. Simon's Island in the United States. I'm currently a wealth planning analyst for Rockefeller Capital Management, and I recently graduated from Goizueta Business School at Emory University in May of 2024. My pursuit of a finance degree for my specialized master's kind of revolved around my undergrad. I attended Stetson University down in Florida, kind of a smaller Division I school where I played soccer. And I actually was able to graduate about 2.5 years. And in doing so, my class schedule kind of revolved around like financial planning and not as much broad-based finance or even any coding or programming involved. So last spring in 2023, I was kind of faced with entering the workforce or going back and getting a master's that would allow me to grow my technical abilities as well as my understanding of the finance industry. Because at the time, I didn't quite know what I wanted to do post-graduation. I didn't know if I wanted to go into investment banking versus wealth management versus kind of a wider range of fields. I knew I wanted to be in finance, but I did not know kind of what role I could see myself growing into. So that, alongside of having a university that I could call and people would understand. Stetson University was recognized in the Southeast and Florida, but Emory University is recognized worldwide. So having that prestige come with kind of my resume spoke wonders. In undergrad, my decision came down between Stetson and Emory University for both athletics. I played college soccer as well as academics. And at the time, it was a tough decision because of kind of everything that Goizueta Business School had and Emory University had. It was about 5 hours away from my hometown. And once I graduated Stetson and entered the transfer portal, which many people might not know about college athletics, but it allowed me to put my name out there to play another year of college soccer. So immediately the coach I talked to in high school reached out to me, and I went on Goizueta Business School because I knew they had a couple specialized masters. I knew that the MBA was maybe outside of my reach without work experience. So the Master's of Analytical Finance kind of popped out to me because of the balance between broad-based finance as well as technical ability and programming, because I didn't have a history in that, but they mentioned that you didn't need any past experience. So Goizueta Business School, at least in the Southeast, is highly regarded and as well in the world. Immediately, whenever I had the opportunity to come visit the school and get on campus, it kind of widened my eyes, and I was able to see that there's much more to Goizueta than just kind of the prestige. There's also the relationship opportunity with your professors as well as the career management center. I mean, I can't say it enough. Goizueta is the top business school, and it shows on paper and also in person. It's hard to narrow down a particular course or professor because all 4 quarters had various classes that I found very intriguing. I did note down a few professors that I would like to touch on, and one was Professor Kevin Crowley. He taught us 2 classes. It was corporate finance as well as mergers and acquisitions. So it's very specific to kind of those 2 fields, but he was able to balance both his personal experience, because he was in the industry for dozens of years, and also the skills that are needed to be in the industry. So throughout classes, he would touch on this modeling technique and understanding kind of this cash flow, but he would also then sprinkle in some of his personal stories, so we got some insight into the actual industry and what we would potentially experience. So that was great for personalization, where we could understand both aspects of either corporate finance or kind of investment banking. Secondly, Professor Klaus Bax, he taught a private equity course in the final quarter, and it was just so entertaining. He was interactive with the students. He wouldn't allow a question to go unanswered. He was calling people out, so it made you stay engaged. And he also kind of taught the importance of the side of private equity people don't think about. People think about kind of the large-scale private equity deals, where he, in his experience, was managing kind of smaller deals in the middle market or even lower middle market, and just showing the importance of potentially rolling up businesses and businesses that aren't attractive to look at, laundry services, kind of cleaning services, stuff along that nature that can actually be very cash flow positive and that people kind of overlook, especially young people trying to get in the industry. They don't even think about those things. And then finally, Professor Travers, she was fantastic. She led our practicum series. So we actually had her for 3 to 4 hours every Thursday, the whole program. So starting in August until May, we were able to interact with Travers, and it almost was a managing director to analyst experience. It was kind of an opportunity for us to feel what it would like to be a first-year analyst, the demands, kind of how your superiors are wanting things and how you have to deliver on those. And then on top of that, she has a very kind of wide-based knowledge of the world. She wants her students to understand kind of the inner workings of finance and how the world turns, because it is a lot deeper than most people understand. And even if you get a little information on that and you kind of dig deeper and understand how the cash is moving, it's great for your future career. I'm a big believer in kind of getting the most out of experiences. So within the program, I knew that I could balance both academics as well as extracurriculars and then positions within the program. So like you mentioned, I was class representative, and it allowed me to kind of hear my classmates' voice and what they want to see out of the program and be able to articulate it to the directors in the program and see change for both my program and the future programs. On top of that, I was also Chief Operating Officer of our Blue Eagle Capital, which was a student program. It was specifically to our program-led investment portfolio. Professor Travers, who I touched on earlier, she was heading it and was the portfolio manager, and we had a group of 7 or 8 C-suite individuals that were tasked with specific things. My role, I was able to build out a streamlined process between student trade requests and then execution to also kind of realizing it on our dashboard, as you would say. So that was a unique experience because I was able to be a part of the first group building out this portfolio and understanding kind of how an investment vehicle works. On top of that, I was also with the graduate admissions as a fellowship role. In doing so, I was able to talk with prospective students as well as candidates about my experiences in the program, and that really allowed me to kind of articulate the benefits of Goizueta as well as the Masters in Finance program there, as well as kind of give some insight to prospective students about how they can make the program better for themselves or what experiences they could look for. It wasn't necessarily an internship during the program because it was 10 months, but the teacher assistant role within Blue Eagle Capital, so I mentioned the COO role, it was actually a teacher's assistant, so I was being paid for it, which is unique because I went through kind of an interviewing process and I had to get chosen by Professor Travers. So throughout the year, I was kind of tasked with helping in that regard, as well as kind of building the portfolio and the operations of that portfolio to where we'd want to see it for the next year's class, and make sure that transition was efficient and effective. My role within Rockefeller is more niche than I was expecting. It revolves more around holistic wealth planning outside of just investments. So we're looking at estate planning, so their documents, as well as kind of income tax planning, and also philanthropy and other regards around ultra high net worth and high net worth individuals. So it is much more legal than what I was learning at Emory. But with that said, I'm surrounded with former CPAs as well as attorneys. So my technical ability within Excel and other softwares actually allowed me to kind of be designated as the kind of Excel expert within my team, even though I've only been a part of it for 3 months. I've been able to be tasked with building out certain models. We have an activity tracker for how much our team's leveraged, as well as a fee model to where we can put in potential fees within a DAF, which I won't go into, but as well as kind of a promissory note tracker. So even though my role isn't Excel heavy, I've actually been able to kind of carve out a position on the team that allows me to be looked towards if there is an Excel opportunity.